Hi everybody, Brian here. I seem to get things done on Friday nights. I don't know why. That's where we're at. So today I'm going to show you the client software for this crypto trading bot. It's really 5 bots in one. It's quite complex to put together. I want to show you where to go to see the evolution of this. You could probably go best to my video YouTube channel. This took about, I must have around 8-9 days to finally put together here. You can see I work with things like Docker, some message queuing libraries like Rabbit, MQ, Zero MQ, a lot of stuff here. So there's two pieces. This piece I'm going to show you will concern people that will download for this service. So essentially what ended up happening is to simplify things. I'm using Python obviously to keep it simple as possible, which is really a scripting language. It was pretty hairy to put together. So in here, if you're familiar with my Redis, I was hoping to get this done in Redis, but I'm always up against my hosting provider that limits me on. They don't want me to use Docker with a cPanel. They don't want me to use the new version of Redis 6. If I was able to use Redis 6, we wouldn't be having nearly what I went through. Anyways, I've got the database stays the same. This customers will never see this, but I will be obviously providing details of this guy, the weighted average. So that's all going to be provided as part of the service. It's a really good metric. I've talked about that numerous times. So essentially how it works is there's the server side, which I've made a video on. There's it? First look at of new client server crypto trading bot. And that was posted 3 days ago. This is the other half, which is a client. And here, what it's doing is I had to redo a lot of things. I've had to redo the downloading because I want to keep it all in memory. I ended up having to, because people would download the software, so I had to also redo an internal database within that program using TinyDB, which I've talked about. It's a Python internal database. And there's 3 programs really, 3 scripts or 3 programs that will be used. The first one is this one, which essentially, let me see here. So that's, no, was Redis. Redis is running in here somewhere. This is Redis. I have a program that basically will download data, will email, and that will basically receive emails signals, so that has not changed. And then that has to store that data as it comes in into a somewhere. Now, I was hoping to put both these programs I'm showing you into one, but essentially what I ended up doing was to have the one that receives the email and then be able to store that into this JSON file, which is then shared between that and the second program. I've spent about 3 days looking for ways to do this reliably, and this was the best way. I could go on the technical front, but I'm not gonna. But this is the only real reliable way to do it. Also, what I've got in here is I've got a script. Once the data comes in and stored in the database for each position, then it has to go in, download the freshest data from the exchange, and be able to compare the data, the position, and meet a certain number of metrics, which is all going to be customizable. And remember, this is all merging into 5 strategies in one, so I had to contend with that as well, and be able to do it efficiently. So a couple of things I can do. So this is all running in parallel with each other, but the key is it'll be a configuration file. In there's going to be there's five strategies. I'll go into detail on the tutorial page once the videos I'm ready to talk about it. And then each strategy will have a profit and loss, which most people will care about. Now, for me, there's different formats I could use. I could store it in a database. I could store it in Excel. But I just decided to keep it really simple and have the style of it being the time of the entry, the pair. This is just one pair. It's using GTO USDT. The name of the strategies, as I said, there's 5. So these strategies you're comparing up against, is it from the spot market? Is it from the futures market? Is it from momentum base? And I've also talked about a momentum type of strategy, or sorry, a mean reversion type of strategy. But in crypto, you can't really do it. So it's more of an oscillator, but it's built off of the same methodologies as mean reversion. So it's using more of an oscillator and pricing it right on whatever instrument it's watching or pair. So I have one specifically for Bitcoin because in the next few days, the halving will happen. And I mean, Bitcoin's already touched $10,000. So it's expected Bitcoin's just going to take off probably midweek. And to have that kind of bought ready and be able to trade that, it's going to be pretty powerful. Anyway, so we got the Nameless Strategy. There's 5 strategies, as I said, the types of strategies. In here we have the entry and exit price, and don't pay any attention to the PN. This is the profit or loss on that position. This is just purely testing, so all of these are going to be negative. Now, there's a number of challenges if you've been following me for the last month, 2 months, 3 months. Bitcoin and the crypto space has gone through numerous different market conditions and scenarios. We have consistently in a down market, but it'd be nice to have strategies that are defensive that could still try to make some profit. I'm not sure what can and will make money, but this is fully configurable, or will be. So people will have absolute control on the entry as well as the exit. Filter out what positions they don't want to take on, or pairs. There will be provided a market condition with that weighted moving average that I've provided based on volume of the big 4. I've talked about that numerous times. I could probably also, well, we'll be providing also stop loss. You can also take profit, which is like a price target. It will also do a whole number of considerations, trading minimum volume, minimum price, minimum, and you can filter out all the positions based upon those minimums. You can set number of maximum number of trades you want to do, maximum profit, or well, maximum number of drawdown you want for the day based on percentage. There's a whole lot of things being put into this under traditional trading practice. I'm also going to be enabling you to turn on and off certain strategies. And as I said, reliably have that metric which works really well. This weighted average works really good on the big 4 that I've talked about: Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, Bitcoin, and Litecoin, all in USD or USDT, and it works really well. I have one strategy that does only Ethereum markets in a down market. They can do well. Don't ask me why, but that just seems to be the case. And you'll be able to control all this. So it's going to be pretty powerful. As I said, I'm going to be adding on a newsletter type of service through my private chat server, or weekly, or I don't know how frequent I'll be doing webinars on it, but it's only going to be available for my members. It's going to be full on. And charting, I could theoretically throw in charting here, but let's face it, nobody's looking at charts right now. You know, no one's trading, making human decisions on the entries and exits except for very general market conditions. But other than that, everything else is fully automated. So when it's automated, most likely you're not going to care about charts. but it can be done. I've got some scripts that do full on research, that does ranking. I mean, it's all full on. And I can do tick data. I can do actual, real, liquidated data, which is another way of saying only orders that have been actually filled on the exchange on Binance and nothing but. These are not fake orders or quotes or quote stuffing. None of that. It's real orders. So there's a lot of work been put into it, and I'm pretty proud of it. And for me, to enable this as a service, this will work for people that stay on top of the parameters that will be provided through the configurable INI file with the 5 strategies and many more to come. And I've also purposely designed it to provide machine learning and additional parameters to handle that. It's endless. So I purposely designed it in such a way to tackle as many trading scenarios I can think of, but making it as configurable as possible. When I say that, it's not like you can sign up for the service and just go with the default parameters and just let it run forever and ever, thinking you'll be making money. That ain't going to be the case. What will happen is you will need to stay on top of the parameters, and that's where the add-on knowledge service will come in, where you trade on this condition, that condition, and configure the parameters around that for the changing market conditions, which is very quick in crypto, and it's very, very powerful. But you will need to stay on top of it. If you don't, you can not just lose money. You lose a lot of money if you're not careful. You might be best to turn off certain strategies. There's one other really magical, I call it a magical parameter. And basically what that means is there will be a parameter that will enable you to trade multiple positions of the same pair. From a safety perspective, you probably want to go with that. But when certain pairs are taken off, performance-wise, and I've shown some pairs on some other videos in the last week where they're doubling, it's crazy returns. And you have the ability to take that, turn off that parameter, meaning you can disable the parameter to enable the bot, whatever you want to call it, to trade multiple positions of the same pair. And if you do that, and that pair or a group of pairs are moving up, you can get multiple double-digit returns daily. But as a warning, if you don't manage it properly, you will lose double-digit losses. So that's what I mean. You'll have to really be on top of this. Really be on top of this bot for a lot of things. Just saw a like out there. Thanks. So I'm pretty excited with what's going to be put out. I'm going to test it. Probably take a couple of good days. I will be introducing a very low price for those that want to risk it, be part of it. You'll be grandfathered permanently in that price range. Once I'm happy with the results, we'll be putting it up to close to $100 a month. And people will complain, well, I'm not getting that kind of return each month. I think you could. But what you're really paying for is the value added on newsletter type of service as well, which will be, I won't say daily, but it'll be pretty frequent. Plus, you'll get access onto the private chat server. And with that chat server, that enables you to talk freely about anything you want. So there's no third-party tracking. There's no government snooping in there as far as I know. It's a proprietary chat technology that I purposely selected, and very few people use it. And it's on my own server, which means nobody has access to it outside of paying members. And I'm also going to configure it where it will delete all conversation over the last 12 hours, so nobody can log on and get the historical on it. So what I'm saying is, if you talk privately, anonymously, and that's the key, anonymously, which most services don't offer. Even Tether, you can track it. And it's going to be really good, I think. And we'll leave it at that. Enough blabbing, but I just wanted to show you the concept here. I'll obviously put out more detail as I get closer to it. I'll put up new videos to replace old ones in the tutorial page. As I was saying about the pricing, it's probably going to be $100 a month, very, very cheap. In fact, I think people hopefully get a lot of return out of it. But if you've already joined, I'll be taking care of you, where you'll get a equivalent of a free trial, and then it'll continue on your second month at the rate you're already locked in at. So you'll be covered as well for those that joined the early bird alpha group as well. And thanks to them, especially for the feedback that has made this bot the way it is, with the parameter settings, and putting me in a real mindset of some real true highly experienced traders out there, including ones that have been doing it for decades and have built very cool tools. So their thoughts have been put into it. It's been sanctioned by them, and I've got some of the big authors watching this project as well. So everyone's been giving me kudos and thumbs up so far on what's coming with this. And I'll be putting more stuff out as we get closer to that. But I can say without a doubt, all the hard stuff is now done. The design's done, the architecture's done. So that's why I'm putting out this video, and I've been quiet for the last few days. And we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your patience as well. Thanks for your lots of loyalty. All right, we'll talk to you later. Have a good day, night, wherever you are. Later.